Alright people, this is the Man 750 again, coming to you with my next collection of my CDs, my Big Kahuna as I like to call it. 96 CDs. Compared to the other ones, they're trash. Now let's get to them, shall we? My first CD that I have is Hypnotized by System of a Down. Why do you have it in this design? I don't know. You got Rage Against the Machine self-titled album, bunch of cover songs that they did. Awesome. Truant by Alien Ant Farm has pretty much my favorite song by them these days. Just look up the video. It's pretty much them crashing the BET Awards. So if you love Alien Ant Farm and kind of don't like BET, it's good. Sound of the Counterculture by Rise Against. Moving on. Blink-182's greatest hits. The Poison by Bullet for My Valentine. I don't know why I just said that. Death Magnetic by Metallica, yes. Anthology by Alien Ant Farm. Saturated by Breaking Benjamin. And Blackbird by Alter Bridge. Rush's latest album, Snakes and Arrows. Black Ice by AC/DC, their latest album. Godsmack's greatest hits, yeah. Songs for the Deaf by Queens of the Stone Age. For We Are Many by All That Remains, their latest album. Phobia by Breaking Benjamin. The Red Album by Weezer. Louder Now by Taking Back Sunday, my favorite album by them. Throwing Copper by Live, their famous album. Plead the Fifth by Taproot. The Truth by Bleeding Through. And The Reason by Hoobastank. Now again, I'm pretty much going off the top of my head, so if I forget some of these, it's not my fault. Cat Nights Begin. This is a local band out of Laurel, Maryland, with their album, if I could get it right, La Chanson du Chat, which is French for the Year of the Cat. It's an instrumental album, so, you know, it's kind of cool. Plus 44, When Your Heart Stops Beating. This is Mark Hoppus's side project, also with Travis Barker. That man does a lot of things. It took me almost 2 years looking for this album, and when I finally found it, I was like, and this was for $6.99. I had to buy it. Music for the Recently Deceased by I Killed the Prom Queen. Yeah, it's a good album. Parkway Drive with Killing with a Smile. Funny story behind this one. I went to a record store and there was this cute girl I had a crush on at the time, and to try to poke into her head, I asked her what album, what band do you recommend for me that I never heard of. So she gave me Parkway Drive, and I pretty much started liking them with Killing with a Smile and Horizons, which you'll see later on, and Deep Blue, which is my favorite album. She eventually told me she had a boyfriend, so that kind of nixed everything, but, you know, good album. Army of Anyone self-titled album. Finch with Say Hello to Sunshine, my favorite, one of my all-time favorite albums. Light It Up by Red Theory, good album. Dave Matthews Band's Greatest Hits, Disc 1. There's no Disc 2, so don't ask. A double shot of Good Charlotte, The Young and the Hopeless, and The Chronicles of Life and Death. Yeah. Stone Sours with Come Whenever May, and Cinder Road with Superhumans. Cinder Road is actually, the name of the band is named after the street that the band was raised on. So when, I think like Catonsville or Cockeysville, Maryland, I think that's what it is. I hope I didn't get it wrong. Libertad by Velvet Revolver. POD's Greatest Hits. Coheed and Cambria's latest, The Year of the Black Rainbow. Stone Sour's latest album, Audiosyncrasy. This one really hit me a little bit, yes. So did this one, classic album, Blood Mountain by Mastodon. Another classic album, The End of All Things to Come by Mudvayne. Andrew WK's I Get Wet. Funny. Scream Aim and Fire by Bullet for My Valentine. Double shot, double album, Garage Inc. by Metallica, with a bunch of cover albums on this one, and then a bunch of re-release tracks that they did back in the early 80s. Cryptic warning. This is actually Revocation. Don't tell anybody, but this is actually Revocation, just under a different name, and it's a little more thrashier. The name of the album, if I could get it right, is Sanity's Aberration. I think that's what it is. Veil of Maya, can't get them mixed up. Veil of Maya with their latest album, Id. Speaking of their latest album, As I Lay Dying with the Powerless Rise. 30 Seconds of Mars. I knew I was going to get this wrong. With the Beautiful Lie. I knew I was going to get that wrong. Indestructible by Disturbed. Jimi Hendrix Smash Hits, their latest. You know, not their latest, but all the hits that's pretty much on here, pretty much. Disturbed's The Sickness classic album. Another classic album, Dookie. One Day Remains, the Alter Bridges debut album. In This Life by Jet Black Stare. This one, yeah, look it up. Oh, a surprise, a double greatest hits album by Def Leppard and Fuel. Nickelback's latest album. Well, no, not latest album, because they actually came out with another one. But this is the one that came out like 09, Dark Horse. Don't hate. Muse's latest album, The Resistance. You know. All Hope Is Gone by Slipknot. You know, hopefully they make another one. I know what they're going through, so like I'll keep on waiting. Incubus's greatest hits album. Death Album 2 by Death Clock. Yes, this my favorite of the two. This is my favorite Dillinger Escape Plan album. It really works. It's like a couple 1-minute songs, but so good. Double Shot Time again. S&M by Metallica, their famous 1999 collaboration with the San Francisco Symphony Orchestra. Mudvayne's LD50, and my favorite Demon Hunter album, The Triptych. This is pretty much how I got interested in them back in 2005. Look, another greatest hits album. Van Halen, The Best of Both Worlds. Well, their classic hits. Flyleaf for this self-titled album. I Love You, Lacey. Awkward moment. Megadeth's greatest hits album. Shockingly, look, another greatest hits album. Oh, look, another greatest hits album. U2 with their 18 singles. No Bullet the Blue Sky, though. Shame. 21st Century Breakdown by Green Day. Yes. Oh, look, another greatest hits album. Pantera. I'm not even gonna go there. Them Crooked Vultures and their self-titled debut. Yes, Master of Puppets. Can't leave this out by Metallica. Dear Agony by Breaking Benjamin. Steel freaking Panther. Feel the Steel. They pretty much offend everybody on this album except for the blacks. Thank God. Congregation of the Damned by Atreyu. Their latest album. Look, another double shot and another greatest hits album. Mothership by Led Zeppelin. Have all of their classic albums. Nickelback's All the Right Reasons. My favorite album by Nickelback. And again, don't hate. Black Gives Way to Blue by Alice in Chains. I'm glad they've made an album. 15 by Buckcherry. Memphis May Fire, Sleepwalking. This is a good indie album. Look it up. As Daylight Dies by Killswitch Engage. I think, you know what? I would say this is probably my favorite of the albums I have. By KSE. Chevelle's Sci-Fi Crimes. That album. Egypt Central's self-titled debut, I hope. Revocation's Empire. Existence is Futile. That was on the other one. Empire DFC. But this is Existence is Futile. Demon Hunter's latest album, The World is a Thorn. And A7X's debut, Waking the Fallen. As we get to the last 6. Remission by Mastodon. Another classic album. Another classic album. Shine Down the Sound of Madness. It's the Blue Album by Burn Ness and Black Holes and Revelations by Muse. As we get to the final 2, To the Pain by Nonpoint and 1,000 Suns by Linkin Park. Now, okay, as we finish this one, we get to my last finished collection, which I'll post that up in a couple days.
hopefully. Now the next one is, I'll give you a preview of the next one. The next one's pretty much mostly one genre, so you probably figure it out when you get to that. So I'm really proud of this particular collection because it took a lot of time and a lot of money so until then, peace.